Hey everyone, how's it going? So what am I working on now? I got a 2019 F-150 with a 5-liter, and it is running terrible. It died on a customer, and they had a heck of a time getting it to the shop. And let me show you something. No check engine light. Power balance. Cylinder 6 is not even contributing. However, this thing is running so bad, it's not just a misfire. I think this thing may have broken a valve spring or dropped a valve or something along those lines. So I'm going to start by going to cylinder 6, and I'm going to wind up pulling the plug out. I'm going to take a look at that. But here again, this is power balance. It's showing how the cylinders are contributing to how it's running. And cylinder 6, see that, is doing absolutely nothing, and it's dragging down cylinder 2. So that's cylinder 2. I think it's just the fact that it's that dead of a hole. I would not even pay attention to anything else at this point. I'm going to look at cylinder 6. But let me go ahead and I'm going to shut it down first off, and I'm going to start pulling it apart. So I'm up underneath the hood here, and if you look, cylinder 6 is the second one back on the driver's side. I'm going to pull that coil out, I'm going to pull the plug out, and then let's take a look and see what we got. So here's the plug out of there, and as you can see, it's wet because it's not firing. But now what I'm going to do is we're going to do a compression test on here and see what we have for compression, because something just doesn't sound right to me the way this thing's running. In case you've never seen one before, here's a compression gauge. Goes down to a like airline type coupler. Here's a piece that goes inside the cylinder head. It has a very low tension Schrader valve in there. It takes almost nothing to blow it open. But the reason you want the Schrader valve there is you want it to hold the pressure back as the engine's cranking, because it'll blow pressure into the gauge, and you want it to hold there. You don't want it to blow back into the motor. That's the reason for that Schrader valve. And a regular tire pressure Schrader valve won't work. It takes a special one. Found that out the hard way a long time ago. All right, let's get this in there. I'm gonna wait for the compressor to stop. Let's try that again. Okay. You're going to get background noise. We're in an active operating shop, so I apologize for that. So there you see the gauge. Focus in on it a little bit. All right, I'm going to go crank it over. That's a problem. That should be at least 125, I would think. Let me pull out cylinder 5 and let's do that one just to see what that one shows. Then we're going to do a leak down test. Pulled out plug 5. As you see, it's not terrible. And I put the gauge into 5, so let's see what it reads. Okay, and as you see, it's up around 150, about what I thought it should be, something in that range. That drop you just saw, that could be the Schrader valve doing that, but we know we have compression error where we don't in cylinder 6. So let me get a leak down tester for cylinder 6. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, the reason for that little metal rod is going down into cylinder 6. And I hung that little piece of tape on there to act like a flag. I want to get the piston all the way to the top. Now, if it's on the top, at the end of the exhaust stroke, it's possible the valves are hanging open a little bit, intake or exhaust. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one test, then I'm going to repeat it by rotating the motor over 180 degrees, get that thing to come back to top. Let's see, I don't know where the cylinder is at this point, but I have a breaker bar down on the crank. I'm going to rotate the motor over. This is hitting the top of the piston. And right about there That's about as far as she's going, right there. So, now what is a leak down tester or a cylinder leakage tester? Let me show you. This right here, what you do with this, same thing, very similar to a compression tester. Gotta get this out of the case, but what you do is you stick this hose down in the cylinder. If I could get it out of the case, hang on a second. I actually have to change the end here. This end is for a different spark plug size, and they have different sizes here that you can use. This, I think, is for the new Chrysler 3.6 liters, I believe. I'm not positive. But what happens is you put this down the cylinder, you run shop air to this, and you turn it up, and you see the difference between the shop air going in and the shop air that's stabilizing. So I'll explain that a little more once I get this thing all hooked up. Now this hose is similar to the one for the compression tester, but it does not have a Schrader valve in the end because you don't want to restrict the airflow going in. That should be hooked up. Now we're going to hook this up. Like that. Make sure that the pressure regulator is backed all the way out. I'm going to take the breaker bar off of the crank because just in case it puts pressure in there and rotates the motor over, I don't want this to go flying. Let me find some air that I can use. Alright, so now we're going to hook up shop air. As you see, the gauges are still close to zero. They might be off slightly. And now I'm going to put pressure in here. And this has got either a wicked leak or the valves are hanging open, which they might be. Like I said, if it's at the end of the exhaust stroke, it could be. Alright, I'm going to pause here for a second here. Alright, so with all that being said, here on the throttle body, if I put my hand over it, just listen. You hear it? I got air coming out. Okay. So that tells me that the valves are hanging open, but there again, it could be at the end of the exhaust stroke and the intake valves start to open. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this assembly down, and I'm going to rotate the motor over again, and I'm going to get it back to top dead center again, and we're going to do this one more time. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to back off on the pressure. So I always want to zero this thing out. So I'm going to back off on the pressure, get the pressure out of the system. The reason for that too is because the next time I go to hook this up, I don't want to have max pressure when I hook the air line up. So now, drop that back down in place, like that. Put the breaker bar on the crank, and we're going to rotate this motor over for revolution. I think I said 180 degrees before, but that was a mistake. So we're going to make it go all the way down and all the way up. And right there should be it. If I go any further, it'll start to go the other way. So now, we'll put this back in here, and it threads right into the spark plug hole. The thing I don't like about these hoses being kept in the kit is they get twisted, and then they kind of hold that form. I don't like that. It makes it difficult sometimes to get it to start threading in. Come on, there you go. Alright, so let's do that all over again. As you see, this gauge is slightly off, but I don't really care about that. I'm pretty sure there's a way to zero it, but I'm not concerned. So if we go up to 100 PSI, like that, I only have about, let's just say 15, which means I have a 80%, 85% leak down. So now, same thing. We are going to come over here. I hope you saw that. We're going to come over here. Let's do this. And I can actually feel the air coming out. You hear it? All right. So next step is we're going to have to take a valve cover off. I'm not going to walk you through that entire thing of taking the valve cover off. I'm going to get the valve cover off, then we're going to pick up on this from there. Because I got a funny feeling, like I said, I think it either dropped a valve seat or it broke a valve spring. I'm going to go with broke a valve spring, but I don't know. We're going to find out. Okay, so I'm not saying a broken spring. I look down to look at the piston, and I don't see anything. I went with a Boroscope. I'll actually hook the video to this right here. So anyway, I didn't see anything. As I saw, the piston looked fine. I don't see a broken valve spring. However, I did find something on cylinder 5, not 6. So why cylinder 6 is dead, I think it either must have burned a valve then, is the only thing I could think of. But why, I have no idea. But something's hanging up, unless something's stuck in there, I don't know. I have no way of actually looking in there unless we take, well, I'm going to probably have to take the intake off. That's going to be the next step. But here, check this out. Check out this cam lobe. So, that's cylinder 5. Look at the cam lobe. That's grooved. Something got in there. I don't know if the roller for the rocker came apart or whatever, but yeah, that's a major problem right there. But all the other ones look okay from what I could see, and these two are for cylinder 5, those two are for cylinder 6, and I don't see anything broken. And the valves definitely didn't drop, and the rockers themselves have a little bit of side play like they should, but nothing extreme. Like if it had a broken valve spring, you would expect a lot of play in those rockers, and I don't have it. So, what to do next? Well, obviously I know we're going to need a cam, but we're probably going to have to pull the head off. I think next step is going to be yank the intake off and go from there. But I'm going to have to get permission from the customer. I want to see how far they want to go, because knowing that issue with that cam lobe, it may change what they want to do with this vehicle if it's something that serious, because this could get into a pretty hefty repair depending on what we find. But at least the piston looks good, which tells me the lower end is probably fine. So, but if we're going to go to that extreme, you know, you may as well do timing chains and everything else, because I think this thing has 120,000 miles on it. I actually don't even know. Actually, good question. Let's check real quick. Not quite sure. Let's see. 125,506. I'm sorry, couldn't see that. There we go, 125,506. All right, this may end this video right here, and I've talked to the customer to see how far we're going to go. So the customer does not want to proceed any further at this point. They want to actually price out doing a motor, because they said, you know, what caused that cam lobe to do that? We sent him a picture, and he's mechanically knowledgeable. He said, what caused that damage to the cam lobe? You know, he says, best bet would be to take the entire motor apart. And he goes, at that point, why not put a motor in it? So it kind of does make sense. So that's going to be our next step. I'm actually going to throw this back together because it is drivable. It's just, I mean, well, it's movable. I don't want to say drivable, it's movable. So I want to put the valve cover back on, get this back together, so at least we can move it in the parking lot instead of having to push it, because that's a nightmare when we've got to push it. So that's going to end this video. All right, well, hopefully you got something out of that video. If you did, hit that like button. If you could, please subscribe. All right, guys, have a great day. Keep wrenching. Before I end this video, actually, I realized you never heard this truck run. So let's actually start it up and listen to it. You hear that? That's basically like compression or whatever popping back through the intake. And I was hearing that, and that's why I was like, that's why I thought it was a broken valve spring. But she does run terrible, and you can hear it clacking away too. Hear it? And then she'll just die eventually. But yeah, so this one's done for now. I'm going to park it in the spot, and if we get the motor job, if he decides to actually do it, I will take this motor apart because I'm really curious as to what happened to it. I'd really like to find out. So if we do, you'll see it right here on Wrenching with Kenny. Anyway, love you guys. Have a great day. Keep wrenching.